once again. Thank you for staying with us so far. So it is 11:10 on dot, and we will be starting the session. I am your host and your moderator today. My name is Kehinde Ojo. I am a customer excellence strategist at Reliance Infosystems. So yes, we never get tired of saying thank you for taking the time to join us today as we talk about building a strong cybersecurity posture with managed detection and response. So yes, before we dive deep into what we have for you today, here are a few housekeeping rules. One, please note that this presentation is being recorded, and be rest assured that I'll be sending you the recording of the event in the days following the end of the session. So please be expecting it in your inbox soon enough. And yes, all attendees are muted and videos are turned off, but not to worry. Once again, to ensure we are helping you as best as possible in this webinar, we have a chat window to solve all of your questions. And we also have tools to make it as engaging as possible so that you're not left out of the exciting things we have for you today. So like I said, feel free to drop your questions on the topic. And if you're experiencing any technical issues, any difficulties or challenges, please also feel free to drop that in the chat. So yes, without further ado, I'll be introducing you to the experts we have today. We have Remy Aigogo and Christopher Odutola. They are both sales engineers at Sophos. They'll be the one who will be handling most of the session we have today, and they are experts in their field. So please just be rest assured that you are getting the best today. And yes, our agenda for today, first of all, we'll be starting with an introduction of Reliance Infosystems, the $1 million breach protection warranty offer, the legacy CISO versus the modern CISO, signs that you are under attack, Sophos MDR with cybersecurity as a service, why Sophos, next steps, and of course, the Q&A session. So now, starting with the introduction of Reliance Infosystems, we are a premier global ICT organization that specializes like yours, wherever sector you are, to harness the power of innovative technology, just so that you can achieve your different business unit goals and objectives. And our expertise lies in assisting you to leverage digital tools and platforms to help you create distinctive value propositions in whatever sector you work as a business. As a global brand, we have physical footprint in over 10 countries and a digital service reach of over 50 countries. And we do this by leveraging the knowledge of these environments to supply our clients with the most service. Adjoining the IT industry has been propelled by our success outcome philosophy, which is deeply rooted in achieving success alongside our valued customers. We go just beyond being mere service providers, and we position ourselves as being that collaborative partners with you who is actively engaged in the path from where you're starting to where you're trying to reach your destination, your ultimate goals. And our success is measured by the significant strides we assist our customers in making. And now this fundamental approach, our SOP, as we call it, our success outcome philosophy, has propelled us to remarkable achievements within the IT sector. Yes, also as a platinum partner, the highest tier of Sophos partners shows a high level of technical expertise, sales, and customer satisfaction. Please note we are also a multiple time Sophos Partner Award winner. In addition, we are multiple winners of the Microsoft Partner of the Year Award, and we have also gone ahead to gain recognition from numerous governmental agencies. Yes, we take pride in being that reliable partner, just like our name implies, that you can rely on to address your organizational challenges effectively. As you see, our range of partners is extensive. We have from Sophos, Microsoft, Cisco, SAP, just to name a few. And yes, we as a business, we have structured our offerings on the foundation of 3 success pillars, which I'll now be outlining, beginning first with the business transformation. So we specialize in helping you drive digital revolution, digital transformation, because we are preachers of digital transformation, assisting your business in leveraging and in your journey towards cloud-based innovations. So we introduce a range of solutions such as cloud hosting and business productivity platforms. We empower organizations to leverage the scalability and flexibility of the cloud, which will transform your operations and enhance your competitiveness. The second pillar, which is the operational excellence, we digitally integrate data, systems, people, and processes to help you realize business automation and ensure consistent, predictable success. And we do this, this is achieved, we do this by harnessing customer engagement strategies and business intelligence platforms to streamline operations and drive business efficiency. So yes, we are almost coming to the end of the introduction. Lastly, the last pillar is the protection assurance. So our protection assurance services are geared to provide our customers, you, with a comprehensive rest of mind as a service. So basically, this brief intro is to let you know that your organization is in good hands and we are capable of helping you to handle any of your security needs and challenges if there are any. Now it is time for you to sit back, listen, and learn. Don't forget, you can ask your questions in the chat window. Our experts will provide answers to them. Whatever it is, we are here to, and we are ready and capable and able to help you dimension your organizational goals, challenges, and address any issues you might have. So over to you, Remy.
Thank you very much, Kehinde, for that. I'll be sharing my screen right now. Right. And just like Kehinde has said, during the course of this webinar, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put that in the chat box. My colleague Christopher would actually answer as many as possible. So please, can you confirm that you can see my screen? You can just respond on the chat box that you can see it.
Yes, Remy, your screen is visible.
All right.
You can proceed.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so my name is Remy Lekwaye-Bogun, and I have my colleague Christopher. We are solutions engineer with Sophos. So our agenda today, we'll be looking at the cybersecurity landscape. We'll be talking about data protection. What type of mindset do you have? Are you a legacy CISO or a modern one? How Sophos itself can help. We'll be looking at the concept of cybersecurity as a service, and we'll talk about Sophos MDR. Why Sophos, and we'll talk about the breach protection warranty offer that we also have, right? So first of all, the threat landscape, right? Nowadays, there's a popular saying right now that adversaries do not break in, that they log in. So these are various statistics that we can see out there about how 36% of ransomware attacks starts with exploited vulnerabilities and compromised credentials. How security teams are having issues trying to keep pace with the current trends of what is going on, right? So if you remember, I just said adversaries do not hacking the login, and this is because they use stolen credentials to avoid detections, right? So when they steal credentials, they either sell it in the dark web or they use it to log into the environment in unsuspectedly, right? So the issue right now is these hackers are using legitimate tools like your AnyDesk, like your PAP, PowerShell, WinRAR, and the likes of that to actually do malicious acts, right? And we found out that the number one cause of incidents is your compromised credentials, right? And the use of RDP is also plays a very huge role in various attacks that we see today. So here is an email that NISTA actually sent out to various government organizations about being careful with the cybersecurity targeting specific organizations within Nigeria. There was a time in about 2 or 3 months ago, we had quite a lot of organizations being under attack. And one of the issues that we have is the talents, right, that help us to fight this thing. Your security analysts, a lot of them right now are relocating, and as a result of that, is affecting how companies can retain these valuable assets in Nigeria, right? So here are the key trends when you look at in terms of the threat landscape. So we have the ransomware. Ransomware is a malicious malware, right, that gets into the system and encrypts people's applications, very critical applications where you have to pay money. And right now, for ransomware, is hitting almost 1 billion naira in terms of the market, right? And cybersecurity and cyber crime as a service, right? Now you do not need to be a hacker. You don't need to have that knowledge anymore to be able to cause any form of cyber crime, right? So you can actually pay for phishing as a service, ransomware as a service, and use it to attack various organizations, right? And right now also we use our mobile devices, right? So it has increased the landscape in ensuring those various aspects are protected. And that is why in the business we have various things trying to complement it. So that's why we have a lot of compliances are out there. We have regulations that companies are adopting to ensure that companies are able to secure their various data, right? And when we look at the root causes of ransomware attack, right, we see exploited vulnerability, compromised credentials, malicious email, phishing, brute force attack, and all that. So you can notice that quite a lot of percentage is going into attacking the users themselves. And another thing we've noticed is what we call the double dip. So apart from when these hackers encrypt your applications or data, now they take it an extra mile by stealing those data itself. So data that you do not want to be shared out there, these hackers now steal them in addition to encrypting them also. So here's an example of one of our customers. It's an automobile supplier. So because they had their RDP exposed on their management server, they experienced 3 different various attacks. So one was from Lockbit, where they used Minikitty to extract passwords, right? And later they were able to distribute ransomware attack. And another was able to, after another 2 hours after the Lockbit, another set of hackers used that same vulnerability point to also drop their own ransomware attack and clear even the Windows event log. So you can see how just by one entry in the space of 2 weeks, this particular organization experienced 3 different attacks, which was from the ransomware to data being stolen from them, right? And that is what brings about the need for detection and response, right? So protection can no longer help us, right? So, just like I mentioned before, due to compromised credentials, these hackers can log into an environment undetected, right? The system feels okay, it's a normal user logging in, right? And the system would not know that there's anything wrong until when there are various activities which bring about the detection and response. And most hackers, when they want to work, they work after working hours, right? Because by the time it closed by 6 p.m., they take that opportunity, right? Either public holidays, the weekend. So it's very important that even outside working hours, you need to ensure that your environment is being secured. And I mentioned about ransomware. Ransomware is dealing with every industry you can think of, right? And one thing we've also noticed that these hackers now take less than 2 days to reach your Active Directory, right? So your Active Directory, which is your most powerful system where it has all your users' credentials and the likes of that, and which enables them to do various things once they have access to that. So you see there is actually need for a 24/7 detection on your environment every time of the day, right? So first question that we want to pull out there. So the first question that we have is about the poll, right? So have you read the act? So, first question, please, as many people you can please answer. It will pop up on your screen. So, on your screen, have you seen a copy of the Act 2003? Yes, no, yes, but it was too long to read, right? So, please let us answer it. We need as many responses as possible. Have you read the Act? Yes, you've read it. No, you have not. Yes, you have seen the copy, but you didn't read it because it was too long. So please let us respond as quick as possible. The polls will be closing in another 30 seconds. Have you seen the copy of the Act 2023? From the results that we've gotten so far, it is saying that most people have not read or seen a copy of the Act, the current Act of 2023, right? So please always try to answer the poll so that we'll be able to get people's response as quick as possible, right? Because we have quite a number of other questions we'll be asking along the way, right? So the Act 2023, right? So we have privacy laws across the world, data protection, because on a global scale, the country or the world are saying we need to ensure that everybody's data is properly protected, right? And on a global scale, we've seen about 71% of the country has some form of litigation or some form of data protection or privacy litigation that they are using, right? Because right now, the most important asset in the world is data. Data is the new gold that we have right now. And Nigeria is not left out. We have our own Data Protection Act 2023, and this was signed into law in June of this year. And part of the thing you need to note is the penalty, right? So the penalty states that a fine of about 10 million or 2% of the gross annual revenue of the company, of the business, will be given to the federal government, right? If that business is involved in any form of data breach, right? And one other thing you need to note is in terms of there is a clause of an imprisonment of up to 1 year, and this is not to the CEO or the CFO. It's the imprisonment is to the most senior cybersecurity person in the organization, right? That person can be imprisoned up to a year as a result of this data breach, right? So it's expected that if there's any form of data breach, you are supposed to report it within 3 days in which this has occurred, right? So if you go to their website, there's even a place where even you as a user can actually report if you notice that your data, for example, is found uh, uh, on a dark web or anywhere else. So, for example, at the moment, NDPC is even investigating the likes of OPay, I think Meta, and even DHL, right? Because of some form of report of data, of violation of data privacy. So you can get all that there, right? So our recommendation. So first things first is change. We need to change the mindset. The mindset that that we currently have. So are you a legacy CISO or a modern CISO? The legacy CISO, we have this mentality of if it's not broken, do not fix it, right? Are you that type of CISO that you're trying to please the senior management in terms of, okay, when they say you try to tell them we need to get the proper license for some certain things, and they're telling you, oh, in order to save money, oh, let's get a cracked version, or you're highly you just read about things, but you're not applying the various compliances that you have out there, or you don't even have any form of cyber insurance, right? Because you handle a lot of data. And is there any form of incident response? Okay, if there's a data breach, what do we need to do, right? Or are you a modern CISO who is more proactive in the way he does things? You ensure that you not just only read about these compliances, you put various things in place to ensure that personal data and are actually protected. You're always learning and applying various things. You use the various vendors that you have. You ensure that at least you are able to put the risk on them, right, instead of on you. You are more proactive. You are not just waiting for when there is a problem before you react, by having some form of incident response plan in place. So which type are you? We are hoping everybody moves to being a modern CISO at the long run. So this is one question that we always try to ask. Are you under attack, right? It brings about the analogy of the boiling frog, right? So there's a myth of the boiling frog, and the myth is that when you put a frog into a boiling water, it will immediately jump out of the water. But however, if you put that same frog in a lukewarm water and you start heating up that water, it continues to adjust its body temperature until it is too late. So the analogy is the one of being proactive. Are you the type of person that waits until when the alerts come up, right, before you react, right? And I mentioned before, protection is no longer enough, right? Because when these adversaries log in with compromised credentials, the system would see it as a normal user logging in. It is only when there are various activities that are suspicious and you get that detection, that is when you attack. So, but because by the time you get alerts, it means various detections and various suspicious activities must have already occurred by then, right? So, on to our second question. So, our second question: do you have a cybersecurity incident response plan? Yes, you have, or no, you don't. So which one? Do you have an incident response plan in place? So we are waiting for as many people to respond. Please, we will appreciate if you can respond to as many, you can respond to the questions as quick as possible. So the question is, do you have a cybersecurity incident response plan? Another 20 seconds. Please, we need as many people as possible to answer that are on this call. We have at least about 30 people All right, so we'll close the poll now, and the results are in. It's telling us most people do not have any form of incident response plan in place, right? And we are here to help. So how can Sophos help? So first things first is the data exploitation aspect of it. So why is this type of attack very successful? Is because of the length of time that these hackers have in your environment, right? So as you can see from the diagram, it's showing you that for organizations that have lesser staffs, you can see that they can stay up to 30 days in the environment even before they even notice. While for bigger organizations, you can see it's less than 20 days, and this is because these larger organizations have a cybersecurity team that is actually managing and ensuring that any form of attack environment is being detected. And it is very important, right? So because I showed you before in the various threats that hackers right now take 2 days, which is 16 hours, but they need just 2 days to get your Active Directory. And the longer they stay in your environment, the more dangerous they can become. And the average SOC team uses 16 hours, which is 2 days, but for us in team uses 38 minutes to detect, investigate, and remediate. So for the first minute is to detect, and this is because of machine learning, any form of anomaly, and as a result of that, we prioritize various detections, which is reducing the noise. It allows you to know what is the most important detection that needs your immediate attention. So investigation is done under 25 minutes, and the remediation is done under 12 minutes, because apart from doing it automatically, we have a synchronized security, which works with various of our Sophos products to initiate various action. Our firewall is there to remediate things. Our endpoint will be able to isolate the various things for you, right? So one of the questions, if you are being asked as the head of IT, are you under attack? Can you answer that question? Is it a yes or a no? Right. So one of the various services that we have is what we call the compromise assessment. So it is beyond the usual vulnerability assessment type of service. So vulnerability assessment will just check if what system do you need to ensure is patched up and the likes of that, but it will not check if you've undergone any form of attack, right? And that is where the compromise assessment comes in, right? Our team will check if you've been if you've undergone any form of attack previously, or you are currently undergoing anyone. It would give you recommendations on what you need to do, if you need to do some patches, if you need to create some various things and the likes of that. And we also have what we call the rapid response. So rapid response is if you are undergoing a current attack and you need some experts to help you neutralize and eliminate that occurrence, right? Our team is we provide our service under the rapid response. We'll check what the issue is, will contain it, and will eliminate it, will monitor your environment and hand it over to you. And lastly is the MDR, which is more of a proactive service, right? So you are able to do threat hunting investigation, which is led by a team of people, right? So we have the tools to check. We will not wait until when there's an issue. It's a proactive way of always checking your security posture. Are things done the way they are supposed to be, right? And that brings us to what we call cybersecurity as a service. So what is cybersecurity as a service? So this is when you deliver cybersecurity as a service. You have you integrate it with multiple vendors. So if you have various vendors that you're using in your environment, you have tools to ensure that both the people process and the technology works properly, right? So Gartner even says that by 2025, that 50% of organizations will be using the MDR service. So the MDR service contains the real-time monitoring, you have the threat hunting, you have the human aspect of it. So you're not just leaving it to the technology to help you monitor, right? And when there is an attack or there is a problem, you have the incident response to fully neutralize it, right? So for people generally that have a SOC, right? So if you want to have a SOC, you have to get the people, right? So for you to have a SOC, it has to work 24/7. So you need to have at least 5 to 8 analysts. You have to have a SOC manager. You have to have various processes on how you would investigate, and various methodologies and the tools that you need, right? You need a SOA, you need a SIEM, you need what you use for threat intelligence and the likes of that, right? So here is a breakdown. If you're estimating about 250, right? If you're trying to have your own SOC, right? And from this estimate, you see that it does not even include the building, right? This is just for the personnel, for the tools, and for the processes that you would provide. So you can imagine if you're going to have your own building and ensuring that that is being sustained, comparing it to what you will pay if you would allow us in Sophos to do that. And what it generally means with the MDR service is that you are basically renting time in our security operations center, right? So you are just renting time and ensuring that we provide you with every tool that you need to do that, right? So it's expected that in your organization, you have various tools already in place that you deployed in various aspects for your endpoint, for your email, firewall, your identity, and the likes of that. And the good thing is that our solution meets you where you are. So you necessarily do not need to replace or do an overhauling of the current technology that you've already had, right? And here shows some of the vendors that we can work with, right? That you integrate with. So if, for example, you already have a different type of firewall that you're using another type of endpoint or email and the likes of that, we can integrate with it. So we meet you where you are. We work with the type of environment that you currently are having, right? So when you look at the various types of MDR service that we have, so we have the MDR Essential, or we call it MDR for Microsoft Defender, and we have the MDR Complete. So for the Essential, what we do is we provide you with expert threat hunting, and we do the threat response, and that is where we stop. And however, for the MDR service, we take it beyond that. Apart from giving you threat response, we give you full incident response and what we call the Sophos protection warranty, which I will explain later on. And when you're looking at what is the difference, right, between threat response and the full incident response. So for the threat response, what it means is that we would contain that particular system or that particular activity that is going on. So we notice there's some form of threat or some form of malicious activity going on. We stop it and we contain it and we tell you this is what the problem is, right? However, with full incident response, what we do is we take it a step further. By the time we stop that activities from going on, we ensure that we identify how did this particular incident occur and ensure that it does not occur in future by eliminating the root cause of what happened, right? So you can imagine if at 2 a.m. There's a malicious activity going on, right? Or there's an attack going on in your environment. You do want to work with a vendor that will not only tell you, oh, there is an attack going on. You want them to even also neutralize that attack for you at the end of the day, right? And for our customers that are using Microsoft Defender, and we can easily integrate with your Microsoft products. So here we are able to get more telemetries, we can get more logs and use that to get more information about what is going on in your environment. So that is where our MDR easily integrates with the Microsoft. So if you're a Microsoft shop and you have any of these Microsoft products listed, it would actually, our MDR service would function with it properly, and you're able to still carry out more threat hunting and the likes of that, right? And the same thing too is if you are using our MDR complete, right? And just like I mentioned, if you are using third-party tools, you're using a different firewall identity, we can you would need to get the add-on integrations to do that. And most importantly, we also have what we call the NDR, which is the network detection and response. Now, what it does is to ensure that in your environment where you have things like your printers, your camera, and the likes of that, right? You need to ensure that the network activities going on there are legitimate. There's no suspicious activity. So in your environment that you have things that you cannot install the agent on, right? That is where the NDR comes in to ensure that there is no suspicious activities even going on within your environment in itself. That is the NDR service. That's the network detection and response, which is an add-on integration that you include with the MDR service. And definitely we will provide you with cybersecurity reports. So you get weekly reports and monthly reports, very detailed reports of how various attacks were handled, who was using that system, who was using the application, if it came from an email, if it came from your Active Directory with a user and the likes of that. You get full, detailed, very explicit report of what was done during that moment, right? So on a larger scale, we are trying to provide an optimal cybersecurity outcome. So apart from ensuring that you have various control points from the firewall, the endpoints, and the likes of that, we ensure we fuse it with automation by the use of Active Directory, by the use of artificial intelligence. We have threat intelligence that we use, and it works in conjunction with our MDR service and our XDR, which provides you with the detection and response tool to battle and have a good cybersecurity ecosystem, right? And for the IT team, right? So one of the questions we always get from them is, by the time you purchase your MDR service, what will happen to our IT team, right? Are you taking over the jobs of the IT department? And the answer is a big no. So what we are doing is we are freeing up time for your IT team, because in Nigeria, for example, in most organizations, the IT team, let's say a group of about 3 or 4, they are the same people that handles hardware, they are the same people that handles the software, they're the same people that handles the cybersecurity, right? They are the same people handling every aspect of IT in that environment. So what we are doing is we are saying that we want to help you to handle your day-to-day of the cybersecurity support while you focus on more strategic programs, right? You are able to sleep better. So by the time you leave from work from 8 to 6 p.m., you know that by the time you return the next day, you have a competent team managing it for you. And it also shows to your stakeholders that you have a very strong security posture in place. And for customers that have an internal SOC, it's an added arsenal to your team. So you have more people working for you. You have more information, expert guidance on how to quickly tackle various incidents that will work with you. You have more knowledge, right, on how to work on threat hunting activities and the likes of that, right? So our third poll question. All right. So please, we want as many people to answer. So we want to find out, do you have an incident response retainer with your SOC? So do you have? The answers are yes, I have, or no, or you don't even have a SOC yet, or yes, you have a solid IR skill in-house. So do you have an incident response retainer with your SOC? All right. Thank you for people that responded. Okay, so the result is showing that most people do not have any form of incident response retainer. Some do not even have a SOC at all in place. Okay, right. So let's discuss that. All right. So why would you want to go with Sophos, right? First things first, we have quite a broad portfolio of various products that can help you in various control points. So it is from your firewall to your endpoint, to your email, to your wireless and the likes of that. We have various points. We have an adaptive cybersecurity ecosystem, which I showed you earlier on, and we use artificial intelligence to ensure that, okay, for never seen before attacks, we are there to always ensure that you are always safe from zero-day attacks. We have one of the best ransomware defenses that we use. We meet you where you are, so you do not need to do an overhauling of what you currently have in your environment that you must have invested in, right? We can integrate with the popular third-party vendors that you have out there, right? And when you look at the Gartner's customers choice, we are ranked one of the highest, right, in terms of reviews from customer, and across various platforms, also in the Gartner customer choice. So this is where customers goes to review the various products that they have, and you can see across MDR, which is our managed detection and response, our endpoint firewall, even our mobile. You can see a lot of our customers prefer the use of our own product. And also, apart from users, we are vendors, we are various OEMs vendor of choice, right? So if for example, if you are using Gmail, just know that you are already a Sophos customer, right? Because Gmail uses I think our malware solution also, right? So our fourth question. So do you have cyber insurance? Very important. Do you have cyber insurance in place? All right. So most people say they don't have cyber insurance in place. All right. So why the need for cyber insurance, right? With the continuous increase in cyber attacks, it's creating awareness for some form of cyber insurance. You have even the board members actually saying, okay, we need to have some form of cyber insurance with the way things are, because you need to be able to share the risk across board, right? So usually cyber insurance covers things like the business interruption costs, because whenever there's an attack, it not only affects in terms of data, right? Jobs is affected, and it comes down to the cost of business also is greatly affected, right? You need to ensure, okay, you need people to handle the ransomware negotiation, the cost of regaining access or retrieving data from backups and the likes of that. So that is what cyber insurance actually covers, right? But most of the time in Nigeria, when most companies look at the cost of things like that, most management might not want to go for it, right? And for us in Sophos, we have what we call the breach protection warranty. So the breach protection warranty covers up to $1 million in response expenses. So if you are using our MDR complete, so what we are telling you is that we are putting money where our mouth is. We are telling you, we are sure that when you are using our MDR complete, we would ensure that there is not going to be any form of data breach, right, during the period of when you are using our MDR complete. And we're telling you, if it occurs, you can claim up to $1 million US dollars in that. So there's even a claim process on how that is even done via our website, right? So it's not just a gimmick. We are telling you that we are very sure about the products that we have, and we are standing by it by telling you if anything happens during that time, we'll pay you $1 million US dollars as response recovery, right? And lastly, we have various value adds for our customers. So first, the cybersecurity awareness. October is on a global scale is the cybersecurity awareness week. So this is something we do for all our customers. So it's basically for everybody in the organization, not for IT departments, to ensure that everybody is cybersecurity literate. And also we also do the healthcare health check for customers that use any of our products, right? We need to ensure that you are doing the best practice for everybody. And if you are using any of our products, of our Sophos products, you are entitled to a complimentary home premium license that you can use to protect your personal computers of your husband, your wife, your brother, your sisters, and the likes of that. And also for your mobile device, we have what we call the Intercept X for mobile. So if you go to your phone right now and check on your Apple Store or your Play Store, right, Intercept X would provide security for free for your mobile device. Since now we use it for various things, for to check our work, to do various activities. So you need to ensure that it is safe. And if you want to know more about our products, you can go to techvids.sophos.com, right? So a recap. So we spoke about the various threat landscape, the cyber threat landscape, the increase in ransomware keeps increasing. You don't need to be a seasoned hacker right now to create cyber crimes. We spoke about the act, which is the Data Protection Act for Nigeria, which we looked at the penalties, right, of paying of as high as 10 million or 2% of the annual gross profits. We spoke about the mindset that we want our CISOs to have, right? We don't want you to only depend on alerts, right? Because by the time you're getting alerts, it means multiple detections has occurred, right? We want you to be more proactive, ensuring that you keep changing with the way the landscape is. And we also discussed about how Sophos can help, right? With our MDR service, which is the cybersecurity as a service. You are just paying for a slot in our SOC. So we with the MDR service, you have peace of mind. You know that you have a team that is handling your cybersecurity 24/7, right? And we also showed you why you need to go with Sophos. We are the trusted OEM when it comes to this. At the moment, we have close to about 18,000 customers that are using our MDR service, and we also have the breach warranty, and we're telling you we're putting money where our mouth is. So when you are using our MDR complete service, and if you experience any data breach at that time, you can claim $1 million US for that. So, and for further inquiries, you can discuss with my colleague Sandra. Sandra is the account is the channel account manager in Sophos. And just like I mentioned before, adversaries do not break in now. They just log in. Thank you very much. Over to you, Ende. Your mic is muted.
Apologies. Thank you. So thank you, Remy, for that insightful session. Let me see. So we are drawing near to the end of the webinar. Please be reminded, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat window. Remy and Christopher are here to answer whatever questions you might have. So give me a few minutes to share my screen, and pending that, I'll be reading out the poll results. So we dropped some polls there, right? And the first one was, have you seen a copy of the Act 2023? We had the options of yes, no, yes, but too long, didn't read. And the results, we had 10% of us saying yes, 90% saying no, and we didn't see any response for too long, didn't click. Give me a few moments. Let me share my screen. Okay. Few moments. My screen should be up anytime from now. Okay, so the second poll question we have security. In of us said yes, 66% said no. Third poll, do you have incident response retainer with your SOC? SOC, we had yes, no, we don't have a SOC yet. We have solid IR in-house, and 7% of us said yes, 57% said no, 35% said we don't have a SOC yet, and there was no response for we have IR skills in-house. The last poll, do you have cyber insurance? So we had yes and no. Wow. So we had 0% for yes, and we had 86% of us saying no. So yes, we have come to the end. We are drawing near to the end of today's webinar. Please, if you have your questions, feel free to drop them in the chat room. We have dropped a Sophos interest form. So if you are interested in any Sophos product or solution, please indicate your interest in the link that has been shared in the chat room. So okay, so like I said, as now, so we have a few webinar value adds, yes. So being a participant in this event, you're not just going back without nothing, you're going to be leaving with something. As a participant of this event, we are offering a free cyber health check assessment for your organization. So you can indicate interest by clicking on the link that has already been shared. You'll find that link in the chat room. Please do well to indicate interest. Also we'll also be having a free cybersecurity awareness training. Do well to also indicate interest. You'll be contacted once you do so. And then finally, we have an exciting prize for our first 10 attendees. So if you joined us early enough and you are part of the first 10, congratulations, you have won a free Sophos Home Premium voucher. And we'll be contacting you via email with more information about your win. So Remy, before I finally close, any last takeaways for our attendees today?
So I was expecting, I don't know if there are questions for us to answer. But anyhow, if you have questions, please, you can always reach us through our partner, Reliance. If you have any further questions, if you want us to take this session further, if you want to know more about our MDR service, how can it help your environment to be more secured, we're available for that session with you. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so
Kehinde.
much, Remy. Yes. So also, if you'd like to speak to any of our sales experts, you can send an email to so@abuja.reliantinfosystems.com, and you'll be sure to get a response. So yes, we have come to the end of today's event. Please do not forget to follow our social media channels. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, which is now X. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate your attendance at this webinar, and we do hope that you have been armed with a wealth of knowledge to be able to defend your organization against the threats of tomorrow. Bye for now.